So let's go to page 10 in our notes. So make sure you're on page 10. You're going to talk about inequalities today. We're going to graph and solve inequalities. So let's just start with what is an inequality. An inequality is a statement that two quantities are not equal. So one is going to be bigger than the other. One side of the equation is going to be bigger than the other. The quantities are compared by the following signs. We have greater than, we have less than, we have greater than or equal to, and we have less than or equal to. Now, the solution of an inequality is any value for x that makes the inequality true. So we're going to find the solutions of x is less than 4. Take a minute and think of some things that you can plug in for x so that your value is less than 4. Okay, some things I came up with were 0, 1, and 3. So some of my solutions are 0, 1, and 3. Yours might be different. Here's the thing. There are too many solutions to list. So what we do is we graph them to try and list them all. There's so many solutions, so many things that are less than 4. We can't possibly list them all. So that's why we use a graph to show every single solution. And just a reminder with graphing, okay, whenever you have less than or greater than, we use an open circle, okay, because an open circle shows that that can't be an option. And then when we have less than or equal to or greater than to equal to, we do a closed circle. Okay, so just to review. So we have x is less than 4. Let's put some numbers on our number line here. Make sure 4 is somewhere in the middle. Doesn't have to be right in the middle, but it should be relatively near the middle. And at 4, well, let me ask you a question. Can 4 be a solution? Is 4 less than 4? No, 4 is not less than 4. So that's why we put an open circle there, because 4 doesn't work. But anything less than 4 will work. So even all the way up to like 3.999999999, that'll work. So what we do is we put an open circle at 4 to show 4 doesn't work. And then what we're going to do is we're going to shade some numbers that are less than 4. So some of our solutions were 0, 1, and 3. We're going to shade that side of the number line to show everything along there works. 3 works, 1 works, 0 works, 3.5 works, 3.9 works, 2.5 works. Everything works. And then we draw an arrow at the end to show that that continues forever. So even like negative 10 works, negative 5 million works, negative 80,000 works, okay? Everything on that side of the number line will work, okay? All the way up to 4, but it can't be 4. 4 is not an option. So take a moment to graph some of these equations and pause the video, okay? And take a moment to graph these and then play the video to check your work. Alright, so we're going to graph these. Some solutions I came up with for b is less than negative 1.5. We had some of those solutions. Okay, so let's make a number line. And do we want an open circle or closed circle at negative 1.5? We want an open circle. So put an open circle. It's negative 1 and then you go a half. And then which side do we want to shade? Do we want to shade the numbers on the right or on the left? We want to shade the numbers on the left. Okay. Over here, r is greater than 3. So here are some solutions I came up with, some numbers that are greater than 3. Now, at 3, am I going to do an open circle or closed circle? Closed circle. And then am I going to shade to the right or to the left? I'm going to shade to the right. Okay. Moving on, here are some solutions here that I came up with. There's a number line. Open circle or closed circle at 5? We want a closed circle because if you look, 5 is less than or equal to 5, so 5 can be a solution. Now which way am I shading? Am I shading to the right or to the left? I'm going to shade to the left. So I'm going to shade all these numbers, 4, 3, and 2 are some of my solutions, so shade those. Alright, the last one, here's some solutions I came up with, some things that were greater than negative 1. And am I going to do an open circle or a closed circle at negative 1? I'm going to do open because negative 1 is not greater than negative 1. They're equal, so that's actually not a solution. And then which way am I going to be shading? To the right or to the left? I'm going to shade to the right. Okay, so that's how you graph some inequalities. Now, let's go on to solving one-step inequalities. Okay, and these are just like solving one-step equations. It's the same general idea. So to solve the inequality, I'll draw a line through my inequality sign. Whoops. Just like I do. Whoops, sorry, I gave you the answer there. And then if you see, we have minus 3 on both sides. So how would we solve this equation or inequality? We'd add 3 to both sides. So that cancels out the minus 3 plus 3. 4 plus 3 gives us 7. Okay. And now when we graph it, let's pull up a number line here. Okay. When we graph it, is it going to be an open circle or a closed circle at 7? It's going to be a closed circle because 7 is greater than or equal to 7. We can plug in 7 for t and it works. And then which way am I shading? To the right or to the left? I'm actually shading to the left, and here's why. Some things I can plug in for t are 7, 6, and 5. Okay, if I plug in 6 for t, 7 is greater than 6. So I want to shade things like 6 and 5 and 4. So I'm actually going to shade to the left. So you can't always go in the direction that the inequality sign is pointing at. You got to try a couple things out to see which way you're going to shade. So go ahead and solve B, C, D, and E, and then come check your answers with either myself or Mrs.